Hello, welcome to my video on my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the UEFA Champions League playoff 2025-2026 season. Feels like this week started the knockout round in the UEFA Champions League 2025-2026 season with the playoff round, where there were played the first leg in this round, and there were some surprise, some series that are defined, and some series that are still open. So, for that reason, I'm recording this video where I'm going to talk about what happened this week and what's next. Yesterday started the playoff run with the first game, where in the first game it was the surprise of the week, where the Galatasaray defeated the Juventus 5-2, and they practically are qualified to the round of 16. So about this game, the Galatasaray was the best team from the beginning to the end, where they started to winning this game since the minus 15, but 1 minute later the Juventus tied the game, and even that the Juventus took the lead, where they were leading in the minus 32 to 1 with two goals scored by Theon Copenhagen and Juventus were leading the game in the halftime to 1. In that moment, I thought that the Juventus were gonna to win this game, or minimum they were gonna to tie this game, because they had the lead in the halftime, and they were leading this, and they were playing and they were leading this game. But what happened in the first 15 minutes of the second half, the Galatasaray took two goals, and they overcome the deficit, and they were leading the game 3-2. But I think that the tipping point was that in the minus 67, Juan Cabal, the Juventus player, received a red card, and he was sent off. And Juventus played with 1 man left for more than the 20 minutes, and Galatasaray took advantage of that. They scored another two goals, and they increased the lead, and they won the game 5-2. So this was a tremendous performance and a very great result for the Galatasaray, where they have a lot of great opportunities to qualify to the next round, because now the Galatasaray can lose the second leg by 2 goal difference, and they could qualify to the next round. And Juventus need to win this game minimum by 3 goals difference to force overtime, or win the game by by 4 more goal difference to qualify to the next round. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. And I think that if Juventus want to qualify to the round of 16, they will have to make a perfect game in the second leg. In the second game, the reigning champion team PSG defeated the Monaco 3-2. Also, I thought that this was gonna to be another surprise, because Monaco started to win the game 2-0 in the minute 18, when Folarin Balogun had scored the first 2 goals of the game. In that moment, I thought that the PSG was gonna to lose this game, because they were down by 2 goal difference in the minute 18, and this was a very surprise. But after that, the PSG scored 2 goals in the first half, and the game was tied 2-2. After that, I thought that the game was gonna to be close. Maybe the Monaco had the opportunity to win this game, but what happened in the minute 48, in the beginning of the second half, Alexander Golovin made a very ugly foul. He received a second yellow card, and it was a red card. And Monaco played all the second half with one less man, with ten players. So PSG took advantage of that. They dominate the second half. They attacked. They created a lot of goal opportunities, and they scored the third goal in the minus 67, and that was enough to win that game. How I told you, the PSG started in trouble the game, because they were down by 2 goal difference in the minus 18, but after that they scored 3 goals without answer. They took advantage that the Monaco played with 10 players for the rest of the second half, and they won this game. Now the PSG, it looks like that they're gonna to qualify to the round of 16, because they are gonna to close the series in home, and it's very difficult that they can lose that game. And the Monaco need to win the second leg by 1 goal difference to force overtime, or by 2 or more goal difference to qualify to the round of 16. Something very difficult. And in the third game, the Real Madrid visited the Lisboa and defeated the Benfica 1-0. Remember that these two teams played in in the match day A, the last match day of the league phase, and the Benfica defeated the Real Madrid in that game 4-2, and thanks to the 4 goal, they qualified to the playoffs. So Real Madrid wanted the little revenge. About this game, I need to be honest, the Real Madrid was the best team. They dominated this game from the beginning to the end, and Real Madrid should have won this game minimum by 2 or 3 goal difference because they were the best team. So the only goal was scored by the Vinicius Junior in the minus 50 in a tremendous play. Vinicius Junior scored a golazo, and that was enough to win this game. The bad part about this game was that it was a big problem. What happened? Because when Vinicius Junior scored the first and only goal of the game, he went to celebrate against the Benfica fans, and after that it was something bad because according to Vinicius Junior, he received some racist comments about the Gianluca Prestiani, the Benfica's player. So Vinicius Junior said that this player Prestiani said racism's word against him. I'm not gonna to say this kind of words, but this is a very bad situation, and if this is true, what the Vinicius Junior said, the Prestiani should have been suspended for this bad behavior. So in the end, Real Madrid was the best team, and it looks like the Real Madrid is gonna to win this series because it's very difficult to play in the Santiago Bernabeu in the UEFA Champions League, especially in the knockout round. And I see very difficult that Benfica can win that game, because if Benfica want to qualify to the next round, they need to win the second game by 1 goal difference to force overtime, or by 2 or more goal difference to qualify to the next round of 16. It looks very difficult, and the most probably that Real Madrid is going to win the second game by more than 3 goal difference. And in the yesterday's last game, the Borussia Dortmund defeated the Atalanta 2-0. About this game, this was a very close game, to be honest. I think that the Atalanta deserved a little more, minimum to score 1 goal or to tie the game, because the game was very close. I'm not gonna lie. The big difference is that the Borussia Dortmund took advantage to playing home. They shoot 2 times on target, and that 2 times they scored the 2 goals, and that was enough to win that game. Borussia Dortmund took advantage to playing home, and they won that game. I think that this series is not over, because the second leg will be played in Italy in the Atalanta's home, and Atalanta have been a very great team in this tournament, especially in the home. So I think that the Atalanta can win the second leg by 2 goal difference and to force overtime, and let's see what happens in the second leg. And today's game, in the first game, Newcastle traveled to Azerbaijan and defeated and humiliated the Qarabag 6-1. About this game, Newcastle didn't have any problem. They won the game in the first half, where they were leading the game 5-0 in the halftime, and they won this game easily. To be honest, this game was show the difference between a Premier League team like the Newcastle and against a middle or low European league, that in this case is the Qarabag, because the Newcastle play a tremendous game, a perfect game, especially in the first half, where they were leading 5-0, and in the second time the Newcastle relaxes a lot. Qarabag took advantage of that. They scored 1 goal, but that was not enough, and Newcastle won the game 6-1. How I told you, Newcastle dominated this game. This was a tremendous performance, where they should have won this game minimum by 10 goal difference, because the difference it was so big. In the end, I think that the series is over, because I see very difficult that the Qarabag can win the second game in England by 5 goals or more goal difference to minimum for the overtime, and I think that this series is over. And in the second game, the Leverkusen traveled to Greece and defeated the Olympiacos 2-0. About this game, Leverkusen was the best team, to be honest. They should have won this game since the first half, because they dominated this game from the beginning to the end. And the Leverkusen won this game in the second half, when in a lapse of 3 minutes, Patrick Schick scored 2 goals, and that was enough to win that game. In the end, I think that Leverkusen should have won this game by more than 3 goal difference, because they dominated this game. And I think that this series is over, because the second game will be played in Leverkusen in Germany, and I see very difficult that if Olympiacos didn't win playing and didn't score a goal in his home, I see very difficult that they can score a goal and win the game in Leverkusen. And in the second and the third game of the day, and another surprise, the Bodo Glimt defeated the Inter Milan 3-1. To be honest, I was very surprised from this performance, but the Bodo Glimt have been playing a very good football in the last three games in the UEFA Champions League, because remember that in the match 7, they defeated the Manchester City 3-1. In the last match day, in the match 8, they defeated Atleti 1 or 2 goal difference as a away team, and today they defeated the Inter 3-1. They have defeated 3 top teams in the UEFA Champions League in 3 consecutive games, and this is also a surprise. Also, the Bodo Glimt took advantage to play in this condition, because it's very cold in Norway. They took advantage of that, and they took advantage to play home, and they won this game. But in the end, I think that they were the best team. They started to win the games in the minus 20 in a tremendous game. Sondre Brustay scored the first goal, and Bodo Glimt were leading the game. But 10 minutes later, Francesco Pio scored the first goal from the Inter Milan, and they tied the game 1-1. In the end, the game was close. I think that it was a very funny game, but in the end, the Bodo Glimt was the best team. And in a lapse of 3 minutes, the Bodo Glimt scored 2 goals. They took the lead of the game, and they won this game 3-1. Now, the theory is in a complicated way for the Inter Milan, because if they want to qualify to the round of 16, they need to win the next game at home by 2 goal difference to force overtime, or by 3 or more goal difference to win the series. I think that this is not impossible, because Bodo Glimt have won his game in home, because it's a very, very difficult situation, because it's to be honest, even when you are a top team, it's very difficult when you go to play in a cool weather and to win that game. But in the end, this not must be an excuse, and the Bodo Glimt won this game very great. So I think that the second leg is gonna to be a very funny, great game. But I think that in the end, the Inter Milan is gonna to win this series, and they will qualify to the round of 16. And in the last game, in a tremendous game, the Club Brugge and Atleti tied the game 3. This was a tremendous game, I'm not gonna to lie. I think that the Club Brugge deserved minimum to win this game, but I think that they were the best team. Even that the Athletic had the control of the game, because they were leading 3-2 with less than 10 minutes to play. They didn't defend it very well. They allowed the tie in the minus 39, and they almost lose that game. In the end, I think that even that Atletico Madrid couldn't handle the win, they tied this game, and I think that now the Atletico Madrid had the opportunity to qualify to the round of 16, because they need to win this game minimum by 1 goal difference to qualify to the round of 16. So I think it's going to be a tremendous game in the second leg, because the Club Brugge can tie the game again, and they can force overtime in the penalty shootout. So let's see what is going to happen. So this was the first leg. Remember that the next week it will be played the second leg, and we will know the teams that will the last 8 teams that will qualify to the round of 16. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment or suggestion, you can write me on social media platforms. So see you next video. Gibra.